Hello and welcome to the latest SEGA Nerdcast number 56 here. I'm Graham, the European editor of SEGA Nerds. Unfortunately, our fearless leader-in-chief, Chris, can't be with us this week. Apparently he's got like a family that loves him and, he has to spend time with them or something. I don't know. But hopefully we've got an awesome show for you today. With us this week we've got our regular Cop K. Say hello, Cop K.
Hi, everyone.
And plus, we've got one of our newest members of the team. I'm really excited to welcome JP to us. Yeah. Hey, JP.
Hey, great to be here.
Cool. Awesome. We're going to have a little introduction with both of you in a second, but just to let you guys know, coming up in the show, we've got quite a heavy Sonic the Hedgehog focus because tomorrow it's actually his 23rd birthday. So, woohoo! So let's just do it. Let's get on with the show. Let's go with Cop K first. Cop K, what have you been doing this week?
Ooh, a lot. First of all, it was, the regular work, as always, it's every week. But this time I've been doing a lot of stuff for Pepe Jeans, the clothing brand, the British clothing brand. And I've been working with them in some stuff with their new collections and some design internal stuff. So I think it's going to be releasing what I've done for them in the upcoming week. So I've been pretty much doing that this week. Another thing is that I've been watching the World Cup games, almost every single one of them. I haven't been able to watch like 3 or 4 games a lot, but the World Cup has been fantastic so far. And man, it's such a great World Cup. It's been the greatest I ever seen in my life, and I've been very grateful to that. The games have been very, very good. And actually, my country has been doing well. I didn't expect that because they really have a bad way of qualifying to the World Cup. But once in the tournament, they're doing really well. So I'm pretty excited for them and rooting, of course. Other thing I've been doing is that I was searching on an old box and I found my old Game Gear, which is here. I found a lot of games that I wasn't aware I had, like Asterix here, and Aladdin, Sonic 2.
Yeah.
This one, I've been playing this one during the week. Also, Castle of Illusion, and Mickey's Ultimate Challenge. I didn't know I had this one. I don't remember it.
I've never even seen that game.
This one, I don't remember also having this one. I think my brother bought this one and used to play it on my Game Gear because I don't actually play sports games. And I can say the same thing for this one. But I did have Echo the Dolphin. And this one, which is by far the game I enjoy the most in the Game Gear, which is Ristar.
Ristar, yeah.
I actually like more the Game Gear one than the Genesis one. I don't know why. The Genesis looks prettier, but I really like the gameplay for this one, so I really enjoyed that one. And I also have Tasmania.
That's a hard game. I never managed to get past that.
I can't beat the first level on that one.
Yeah, it's so tricky, isn't it? Bloody hell.
Well, I'm really good at this one and the Genesis also, so
wow, man.
Go for it. And I've been playing those ones. What else have I been doing? No, I think that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to very quickly go with me first because I've done bugger all. Basically, I've just been working and I haven't really been watching the World Cup, even though I wanted to. And England suck. So yeah, we just did terribly.
The way you played, but they weren't very lucky about the scoring.
Yeah, true. We were the last match. We were basically beaten by 2 players on the other team, like Suarez and their goalie. They just
yeah.
Yeah, all the other players didn't really do anything, and we just kept getting stopped by them. But yeah, oh well, yeah. But okay, JP, I'm sorry for leaving you last, but I wanted to have a proper introduction for you. So, because you're like new to the show, you're new to the site. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you got into gaming, how you got into Sega, who you are, who is JP?
Who is JP? I'm JP Swartzlander. I'm from Oklahoma. My first console was a Genesis. I got it with Sonic 2 back in '92. My first handheld was a Game Gear. While all my friends were, playing Mario Land and stuff, I was playing Sonic 2.
Oh yeah.
And I've always loved Sega games. You know,
Yeah.
I love RPGs. I love puzzle games, strategy games, platformers, stuff like that.
What is your favourite Sega game then? Just throwing it out there.
Wow, like of all time.
Yeah.
That's a tough question.
Oh man.
I think.
I've never been able to answer that.
I can answer it straight away, but
Panzer Dragoon, let me guess.
Panzer Dragoon Saga, yeah. But okay, what's your favourite Genesis game then, if you have one of those?
My favorite Genesis game, honestly, just because of how unique it feels to the series, I really love Castlevania Bloodlines. Maybe it's because I've been playing it a lot lately.
Cool.
I think probably my most favorite Sega game of all time would probably be Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, nice.
That just everything, all the music, the video, the visuals, it all just was right for me.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think pretty much any gamer can actually agree with that. You don't have to be a Sega fan to know that game was awesome. So good one. Yeah, awesome.
Last time somebody asked me that, there was like this expo for making posters for a concert, and I was like having a really tough time. I wrote down a list with 30 games, and I couldn't decide between those 30 games. At least I know I'm in the 30 range of Sega favorite games. It was way too tough for me.
Yeah.
So many good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, JP, what have you been up to? Anything exciting this week, or are you a bit like me, just working and being rubbish?
Just working and just spending time with friends and family.
Yeah, that's cool.
Not a lot of exciting stuff.
Yeah, we can't all go off on mad adventures like Chris is with his family this weekend. I don't know what he's doing. I think his mum's come around and having a barbecue or something, which is fair enough. Cool. Yeah, and with that, let's just get into the main show. Now, we do normally have show feedback, and we did get some, but I'm really lazy and I couldn't find it. Well, I didn't have enough time to find it because we sort of get lost in Twitter and Facebook. So I apologise. Hopefully when Chris is back next week, but he's way more organised than I am, we can dig it up and get it out for you. So, yeah, sorry about that. So, yeah, let's go straight on to the news desk. JP, would you like to do the honours and handle going through the news for us?
Sure thing.
Yeah,
first
buddy,
up,
get in there.
first thing we got is Bayonetta's Wii U director commenting on the Nintendo suits. If you weren't aware, in the Bayonetta Wii U port, we're going to have Nintendo character costumes with specific abilities and different weapons that can be used, and it will be Peach, Link, and Samus, and they'll all have their own Wicked Weave attack. And they all have other unique abilities, like Samus can flip her visor up or down at any time during a cutscene, and I think that'll be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Whenever you are playing as Peach, you can use her Wicked Weave to summon a giant Bowser fist, and whenever you're playing as Link, you get to use the Master Sword, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty damn awesome. I think one thing that this also shows is how I know basically Nintendo is doing Bayonetta 2 and stuff. It's kind of cool that Nintendo's going the extra mile and Platinum Games going the extra mile to actually link both Sega and like Nintendo series together.
Right.
Do you have any further thoughts on this, Cop K and JP?
Well, I think it's nice that Nintendo is producing this and giving an extra reason for the fans to actually buy the Bayonetta game and getting the other with a few extras. So I think it's pretty cool. And it was actually a pretty nice feature from previous one that you had to get costumes for her and some sassy ones that people were really about. So I think it's pretty cool. I don't know about you.
Okay, you were like breaking up there a little bit, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I hate my internet sometimes.
Turn your camera off, man. Quickly, turn it
I meant
off.
to turn off.
Sorry.
That's it. Audio. Sorry, guys. My internet's really choppy. Things of the third world.
And so JP,
So
you were about to say
what I
something.
was saying is that
It's all gone
I'm
wrong.
even going
I don't know if
guys.
Copk's internet's broken. Copk, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you guys hear
Okay,
me?
I can't hear you anymore. It keeps going in
Yeah,
and out
it's
for me.
coming in and out.
Okay, JP, I think
Oh man.
you're about to say something, so maybe you should go ahead while Copk's internet starts working again.
All right. Well, I was just gonna say that I think it's cool that Nintendo and Sega are quote unquote playing nice. I mean, I know they've done the Mario and Sonic games and everything, but I think this is kind of cool because it's the first time that it's really been kind of a like a not an because the Sonic and Mario games are kind of they're party games. They're just fun and everything, but this is the first kind of like nod that I think we've got in like a AAA title that I can think of at least. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so there you go, and it's pretty exciting. They actually look really cool as well. Most of these suits, they're
hmm
yeah, I like the fact that
hmm
they've got their own unique abilities. But yeah, cool. Let's go on to the next bit. Let's do it.
All right. Well, there's the Bayonetta anime movie coming to North America, courtesy of Funimation. Um, let's see. It's going to be titled Bayonetta Bloody Fate, and it's going to be coming to the United States and Canada. They're going to have a preview of the English dub at the Los Angeles Anime Expo on the 5th of July, and with a Q&A session with the director, Fuminori Kizaki. It was made by the studio responsible for Afro Samurai and Afro Samurai Resurrection, and there's no release date as of yet.
Yeah. We actually heard about it was coming to Japan last year. We heard about it, I think. Yeah, so it's really cool to actually hear that we're getting an English translation of it, basically. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say on this actually. Cobb K, have you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I actually think that it's cool that we're finally getting it instead of people like clicking on illegal links to actually watch it. And it's good also that Funimation is trying to do that, because Funimation also had this other Sega-related animes like Nana's Big Treasure, and the other one is Bento. So I think it's pretty cool. I think we can hope that Funimation or Crunchyroll can bring the Sega Hard Girls anime soon on October, so people can watch it.
Yeah, I think it should be pretty cool. I mean, as stylized as Bayonetta is, it's perfectly designed for anime, especially if it's going to be a feature presentation, then it will probably, it'll have the high production values, I think, and it's so stylized that it fits well with that kind of style.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm really excited to actually see it because I'm not huge into anime, but there are certain anime shows and movies that I have watched and thought that was awesome. So this is, and because I love the game so much, I'm really excited for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I kind of I hope they're going to do. Well, they're probably not, but I hope it's possible to get a subbed version because I prefer sub to dub. But I guess if it's a cartoon, you don't really notice it that much. But,
Right.
Yeah.
Ideally, it would have both options on the disc.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah.
See what happens. Cool.
All right. Well, I guess the next thing is that SEGA of Japan had launched their Sonic Tune website, which is what they're going to be calling Sonic Boom. That's kind of baffling to me. Like, I don't see the reasoning behind that. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit odd.
There's
Yeah,
not much to say about that.
Yeah,
It's
if
pretty fine. I think it's cool that they do that, because there's not many American games that get released over there, like getting developed from Sega of America or Sega Europe that get to Japan.
Yeah.
So finally, two games like Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed or Sonic Boom get over there. So maybe we can start like changing those American games so we can get more Japanese releases like Puyo Tetris or Hero Bank or who knows. But it's cool that it's getting over there. I mean, Stephen Frost really worked really hard on that game, so it's
Yeah. It's just a bit odd that they're changing the name of the game though. Like
yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it has marketing reasons or localizing like they do to us when they change the titles or stuff like that. So it's kind of fun to see the things going the other way. And it actually it's doing well because press was really looking forward to this. Japanese press was covering the game during E3 and also before E3, so they were like, the game really picked up their attention. So it's going to be interesting, the reactions on this game, because it has drastic Sonic changes, and we already seen what it happened with the American audience, the Western audiences actually, the European one and the American ones. And it's going to be interesting how the Japanese are going to react to these major changes. But at least they know this is more about the Cartoon Sonic rather than actually a drastic change on the major series. So it's looking exciting. Actually, there was this Sonic birthday celebration yesterday, and Iizuka was showcasing the Sonic Toon game, and it was interesting that the main producer of the series was actually supporting this. So I think it has been like full support from SEGA of Japan to get that over there. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I'm definitely excited for it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I think. Well, we'll move on now, I guess.
All right. There's a new update for Sonic Dash on Android. Brings the new Droid Hog. You can play as the little android robot, and if you play with him 50 times, you will unlock Andronic the Droid Hog, which is just basically him with a little Sonic skin, and he looks pretty ridiculous, but I kind of love it.
Yeah. Wonder if I can actually screen share. Oh no, it's not. No, annoyingly my camera's not working and I can't seem to screen share properly. But never mind, that's okay. Yeah, we'll post up on the website later. But basically, it does. If you think of if you don't know what we're talking about, if you think of like the Android little droid mascot thing that's had for years,
yeah.
It's sort of like Sonic the Hedgehog version of that. It just looks so funny, like running along and stuff.
Got those little stubby legs.
Yeah. So yeah, it's. I assume they're just doing it because, well, as I mentioned before, it's Sonic's 23rd anniversary, but there hasn't been any word for like the iOS version of the game having anything like this either, like any other special unlockables or anything for this event. It just seems to be for the Android version, which is pretty cool for them. So,
they don't get a lot of exclusives.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, a lot of. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to play a game that one of my friends are playing, and they're like, "Oh, it's only on the App Store. It's not on Android."
Yeah. Well, dude, I've got a Windows phone. Nothing comes out on that.
Oh Lord, I'm so sorry.
I love my Windows phone, but I'm seriously mad that like Sega hasn't actually adopted it like properly. They've got like 3 Sega games on there which are really good. They've got like Sonic 4, Sonic CD, and Monkey Ball or something. They work really well, but they just haven't adopted any other game to it. And it's just like, what are you doing? There's another big companies here. If you were here, all your games should sell really well, I reckon. But that's another argument for another day. I think it's just yeah. So it's good to see that Android's getting some love there. I'll wait another like 10 years for Windows Phone to get some games. Yeah, man.
All right. Well, apparently the Phantasy Star Online 2 servers are under a DDoS attack. Their Japanese servers are down, and SEGA of Japan has not been able to solve the problem. And they will provide a status on Monday as to when the servers will be on again.
Whoa, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, this has been pretty hard. I mean, it's been the second big DDoS attack for SEGA of Japan. The last one was more about the main site and some other sites, but they shut the servers down because there was like compromising information about the users. So they decided to shut down temporarily the service because of that, so to protect the user. And they've been the information they have provided so far is that a particular group has been attacking them, and they haven't been able to track down who is responsible for this. And the other thing is that they will provide on Monday if the date in which they will resume the servers. And also the SO2 site has been compromised because of this. So it's pretty interesting who's behind this and why it's attacking.
Well, that is really bad, actually, isn't it? Jesus.
Yeah. Man. So that's been the whole news about this story. But in the other way, it's like, oh man, if we only had this game over here, I'm pretty sure the community will be like tracking down the guy who was behind this.
Oh yeah.
And everything would be fine again.
It's probably just some. It could actually probably be some mad like guy from the West, like sort of going, "You haven't given us the game yet. Screw you!" and like attacking them, which
taking
is not a way to go around this. But yeah, hopefully it gets online soon, and hopefully Sega actually brings the game to us because that's what we all want.
Yes, yeah. I played the Japanese version for a bit, but man, it's just not the same.
Oh, dude. How does it compare? Because I haven't actually played it at all. How does it compare to the original Phantasy Star Online? If you played that one?
It's definitely. I feel like it's more like the original. Whereas the original Phantasy Star Online was more Diablo, this one's definitely more World of Warcraft.
Okay, awesome.
Like I don't know. It's kind of like it plays kind of like a streamlined WoW. I mean. It still has the combo system and everything, and that's really cool and everything. And you do still go into instances, instead of being in a massive world with everybody. But it is cool that, it just on the ship and everything, it just feels a lot more like it feels more like a standard MMO, whereas the first one was more of a. Felt kind of like those early or late 90s PC games. Yeah,
that's fair enough. Out of curiosity, I really hope this is true. Is the attack, is it like, is it real-time attacking, or is it like World of Warcraft where you have to right-click on something and it goes off and does it all?
Oh, no, it's totally real-time.
Yes.
Wow.
Because you still have
Action RPG, I love it already.
Yeah, because that's why I couldn't get into World of Warcraft. I hated... Like, I think World of Warcraft is probably an amazing game, but I don't like the fighting on it, like right-clicking on something.
Passive combat, so to speak.
Yeah, I couldn't. It wasn't for me. I just did not enjoy it as much. And also, I only ever got to level 6 on that, and I wanted to go off and explore the world, and you literally can't get out the first town without being like level 20 because everything kills you. Like, I couldn't fight wolves or anything. It was just ridiculous. The only thing I could kill were like pigs or something. I can't remember what they were. But yeah, and also I think I got challenged by some wizard in the town to fight me, and I said yes stupidly, and I didn't like that game at all. Oh well. Anyway, that's another conversation as well.
Graham? Well, looks like Graham is a little bit down and choppy. So what's the next one? Oh, hello? There you go.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Whoa. Cool. Yeah, I was just saying, are you guys ready to go on to the main feature now?
Sure. Certainly.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, so this is pretty exciting. Sonic, it's his 23rd anniversary this year, and it's actually tomorrow that he turns 23. Because if anyone doesn't know, the original Sonic the Hedgehog was released on June 23rd back in 1991. And yeah, so it's a pretty impressive achievement. So we're sort of kind of celebrating it today, just having our feature discussion. We're having multiple feature discussions all about it. Before we get into those actual feature discussions, we actually asked some of their favourite Sonic memories. So I'm just going to go through a quick list. Do you guys want to... should we take in turns to read this out? Let's do that, I think.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, Copk, I'll let you start with the first one if you like.
Oh, no. Remember my RAM and my camera's not working.
Oh, no. Okay, JP, would you like to go with the first one?
Sure. This is actually from one of my friends. It's at a chicken sandwich. He said one of his greatest Sonic memories is getting his Genesis for Christmas with Sonic 1 and 2 and playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle with me.
Awesome.
And we definitely... We would have worn that disc out. We played a lot of it.
Do you know what? I never played the multiplayer on Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Like, what was it like?
It was, man, that's the thing, is that it was super fun, but it wasn't even really very deep. There was Sonic and Shadow, and it was just, you race through one of the single-player levels, and you could attack each other with, like, Sonic had an energy blast, and Shadow had his Chaos Spear and stuff. And then you could play as Eggman and Tails and just have, like, an arena mech combat thing. And then there was... Rouge and Knuckles, and it was just you had to hunt down the emerald shards faster, and it wasn't deep at all. It was just, I don't know, there was something about it that was addictive, and plus we're both huge Sonic fanboys, so it's like, oh, we can finally play, multiplayer,
That does actually sound really fun. I wonder what that would be like these days, like if you had a proper online version with like 16 players or something. That could be quite interesting.
Oh, that would be ridiculous.
Imagine that. Wow. I wonder if someone can, I don't know, someone could hack a version or something and get it online. But it's definitely something for Sega to look into. Okay, from @punkdads, he says, we went over to a sleepover at the age of 7, played Sonic 1 on the Master System, only having played an Atari previously. I was impressed. And yeah, I'd imagine that would
have been as well.
Yeah, because it's like on the Atari, there's nothing like any Master System game, especially Sonic. I jumped from the Atari to a Genesis, so that just literally blew my mind. So yeah, good, but still, man, that's got to be impressive.
All right, this one's from @pirate_Mike. It says, probably playing Sonic 1 and 2 with my older brother. One of the few times we truly felt on the same page about something. And honestly, video games are one of the things that really bring people together. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a room with somebody that I literally have almost nothing in common with, and somebody hears my ringtone. It's like a, I don't know, whatever, a ring sound, and somebody's like, "Oh man, you like Sonic?" And
Yeah. Oh man, it's so good.
One of those shared experiences.
Yeah, I actually had a little bond with there's two girls at work who they're girls. This is probably a bad stigma to have, but you don't really think about girls playing games, even though they obviously do. But they, like, one of them sort of mentioned the other day that they were playing on their Dreamcast or something. I was just like, oh my god, you're like my dream woman right now, damn it. And the other girl started talking to me about what was it? Oh yeah, she lent me a 3DS game, and I was like, "You got a 3DS?" And she's like, "Yeah, of course I do." And it turns out she's got every console basically, except for like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And it's just like, oh, I'm so happy. So, yeah, definitely like talking about games and stuff, which is awesome. And that sort of moves on to our next one as well quite well, which is from our good friend Lizzie Silvers, or Kappa Lizzie, as she's also known, who we had actually on the show a while back. And she actually, when she came on the show, she shared pretty much a very sad time in her life, but also a very good time in her life, which was to do with Sonic. I'm going to give a very brief overview of it. Is that she effectively had a brain tumor, and she was out of school and very ill, and having operations and things, and she went to the store with her dad or parent. I can't remember if it's just her dad or both her parents, and she found the Genesis cabinet and started playing on it. She's playing Sonic the Hedgehog, and effectively, long story short, her dad bought her the Genesis, and she sort of said that some of the best days was spending sort of lonely days, effectively, at home with Sonic. And it was effectively that Sonic the Hedgehog actually helped her through her brain tumor recovery, which is a beautiful story. If you, we should probably put a link to that actual Nerdcast back on, like, at the end of the show or something, for like the people listening to the show later on, because it's a really good story. And thanks again, Lizzie, for sharing that with us, because that was brilliant, that story. I don't think I did it justice just then, but yeah, it's probably move on, I think. But yeah.
All right, this one's from @KatieDid1097. Sonic Memory, introducing the Sonic franchise to my little brother.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I feel like most everybody, all of us probably have done that to somebody.
Yeah, definitely. And hi again, Katie. Katie's also another one of our long-term listeners. We love her. Yeah, you do. So yeah, cool. At Bolt7, who is actually part of the Sega Nerds team, so he's being cheeky writing on that, but it's cool. One of his favourite memories was playing Sonic 2 with his friends just so they could get to the special stage and show off how freaking sweet the graphics were. Which, yeah.
This is true. It blew my mind.
Definitely, because it was like 2D, 2D,
Like,
2D.
oh, it's 3D.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? and playing like both Tails and Sonic, that's all at the same time, as it were.
Right.
Trying to steal the rings from each other and stuff.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I like jumping at the very last second so that Tails would always, run face first into the little bombs.
Yeah, that was always good.
A little sadistic, but whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I was always amazed when you could sort of, if you keep going left or right, and you actually do a little flip over the top.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That always blew my mind. I was like, how's he doing this? And clearly, nowadays it doesn't seem big deal at all. But back then, it was like, whoa.
Yeah. Back in those early '90s, though, a lot of the stuff, just blew your mind.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Moving on, at Jurassic Steve, who's actually Steve, who's also from Sega Nerds, and unfortunately hasn't been on the site for a while or on the show, which, where are you, Steve? We love you. One of my best memories was playing Sonic R with my brother. Again, brilliant game. I think it's a very underrated game, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, very, very underrated.
Yeah. I can understand how it's not everyone's cup of tea. Especially, I think a lot of people didn't like the controls on the game because it felt really weird. But it's meant to be a racing game, and if you treat it like a racing game, you can sort of understand. And there's such a good multiplayer game as well back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
And
last one.
Last one's from a chicken sandwich one. My friend again.
Oh yeah.
Also, for my 8th birthday, my parents got me Sega Channel, which I am incredibly jealous of and wished I could have experienced. Seeing commercials for it or magazine articles back in the day talking about Sega Channel, and I'm like, what? You can get it through cable? But
man, you guys were lucky. I wasn't even aware of Sega Channel until about 5 years ago or something, maybe 10 years ago. Simply because we didn't have it over here. It didn't exist.
You guys want to feel better? I remember Sega Channel and bought the device, but I was never able to play it or use it because I was in another country. So
no!
The service, so it was very frustrating too. Actually,
so close but so far.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, thanks to everyone for sending in their memories. That's awesome. We love hearing about that stuff. So feel free to send stuff on there at any time. We'll hopefully get a shout out at the start of the show. Unfortunately, we didn't do that this week. Let's say I suck, but yeah. So let's move on to our main feature discussions. I think first up, it's an obvious one. It's an obvious question, really. But what is our favourite Sonic game that's not part of the original Genesis/Mega Drive versions or titles even? I'll let Kopke go first.
Well, I could say too. If we're talking just about the Genesis, I could say that Sonic Generations is by far my favorite game ever released about Sonic. And aside from that, I think the Sonic Adventure series are pretty cool. And also, I would lie if I would say Sonic Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, but that's actually saying I like Puyo Puyo, so I won.
Yeah.
And I do like Puyo Puyo. I actually like that series a lot. But I will also say the Sega Sonic Arcade, which was really weird. It had this kind of a ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the track ball.
Yeah, it was really hard to beat that arcade, man.
I only played.
I've never even seen one of the cabinets.
Yeah, it's really pretty. They actually had one in Mexico, in the north part of the city. And people were like getting over there because it's really far, to actually play that game, and it's pretty cool. Sonic was a really big thing here. I remember that I'm gonna throw in a little bit of my favorite memory about it. Is that I remember that in school, Sonic was a cool thing in the 90s, and people were like saying, yeah, Mario's fun and stuff, but he's not as cool as Sonic. I mean, Mario looks lame, he's fat, he's not as fast, he doesn't look cool. And people were starting buying Genesis because of Sonic. And then Sega announced that Sonic 2, and everybody was really excited about that game, and they were like actually looking forward to the launch date. So I remember that my dad traveled to the United States and brought back a copy of Sonic 2. And I was one of the few kids that had it like 2 days after the launch date. And everybody at my school was like, oh, come on, man, you don't be a bitch. Don't be like such a wuss and please lend the game to me. Or like people were fighting so that I could lend the game to them so they could actually play it. And there was like, I was really a jerk to my classmates because I remember I made a kid like lend me about 30 games so I can lend him just Sonic 2. And it was a thing over there at my school. And I was the popular kid just because I had Sonic 2 really early before anyone else. So yeah, I remember that's my favorite Sonic memory about it.
Cool. JP. In fact, if you want to, JP, you can say his favourite Sonic memory as well, and then go on to your favourite Sonic game that's not part of the Mega Drive series. Probably should have done that.
Sure. Probably my favorite memory from Sonic games is because whenever I was actually young, I had Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, but never Sonic and Knuckles. So after I got a little bit older and I was able to start buying my own games, I picked up Sonic and Knuckles on the cheap, and whenever I finally unlocked Hypersonic and I got to play the final zone, and you know, you're chasing Dr. Robotnik through space and having to dodge asteroids and everything, man, that was just so cool, and it blew my mind. And
yeah, it was really hard to do that, man.
Oh, I know. It definitely took me a few tries.
Yeah.
And also, like as an aside, because I had that same kind of wow factor for whenever I got my Dreamcast, is whenever you got to play as Super Sonic and fight Perfect Chaos in Sonic Adventure 1, you know, and it had that awesome theme song blaring in the back, and you know, you're running around this giant ruined city, flying around, and it was one of those just wow factor type things that I hadn't seen before at the time.
Yeah.
It blew mine too, man. It was like really a huge moment. Like all that story from Sonic Adventure 1 was really cool. I really love that one.
Yeah.
And I also regret like not buying a BMU because I beat the game just straightforward without even saving. So I had to do that again.
Dude, that's quite an epic challenge, actually.
I know.
I never
man.
turned off the Dreamcast because of that, because as I told you on a previous Nerdcast before, that my dad took me on a road trip to buy it on the launch date in the United States. So it was a tough decision when I was buying the games that, oh man, should I buy a BMU or should I buy another game? Like it was House of the Dead 2, so I decided buying House of the Dead 2 instead of a BMU. So when I turned the Dreamcast on when I got to Mexico, I regretted not buying the I wasn't able to save the Sonic game. So at least for 2 weeks, I wasn't able to save my files on the Dreamcast.
Man.
Same.
I gotta say that's dedication.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Like, new Sonic, and finally it's in 3D, and I'm gonna support the Sega because the Saturn didn't do well, and I was like pretty excited and didn't turn out the console. I promise I won't do that again.
And I would probably say my favorite game that's not part of the Mega Drive Genesis main series would probably be Sonic R. You know, like you said before, it's definitely got a mixed reception. But it was honestly, one year for Christmas, we bought a PC with Windows ME on it, if that gives you a time frame. and it was my first modern PC console or PC system. Because prior to that, all my PC games that I'd ever played, like Duke Nukem 1 and Commander Keen and all that, I had to go through DOS. Like, I knew how to use DOS before I knew how to use Windows. So I got that. I got Roller Coaster Tycoon and a couple of the Sega PC releases for the Sonic games. And I just played the ever-loving crap out of Sonic R. Went through, got all the coins, did all the challenges, and that's one of the few games that I've actually like 100% beaten multiple times. And I don't know, there was just something special about it for me. And a lot of people don't like it, but I freaking love the soundtrack for it.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of it ties into even nowadays.
Also.
Oh yeah, because they're bringing back Richard Jacques to work on Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal for 3DS. So, he's worked on a ton of their games, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he's brilliant. And actually, at the very first Summer of Sonic, where Richard Jacques was actually playing, I got to speak to him briefly. It turns out
wow.
he lives quite close to me. In fact, he lives in the same town that I live in, or he used to anyway. I don't know if he still lives there anymore, but I was just like, oh my god! And his house was really close to the school I went to and stuff. I was just like, how freaky is that, man? Well, brilliant. He's such a nice guy. I don't think he'd ever remember me because there's like so many people there, but that was a great moment just speaking to that guy. Yeah, and his music's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Good choice, man. Good choice.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what can I say? I'm trying to think of favourite Sonic memories actually. Do you know what? I've got so many. I can't really think of like. Yeah, I can't really think of like that many. I guess one for me would be playing Sonic Adventure for the first time. In fact, I played the demo first. I managed to get a demo. Yeah, no, it was in a shop just before the Dreamcast release. They had a little demo cabinet and they had a demo of Sonic Adventure, and literally blew my mind because I was a big fan of like 3D sort of platforming adventure type games, and up until that point, Mario 64 was my favourite sort of 3D platformer, and this just blew it out of the water. The graphics were so slick, and you got to play on I can't remember the name of the first level now. Damn it, the one on the beach.
Emerald Coast.
Yes, thank you, Emerald Coast. Yeah. And just going over that loop-the-loop for the first time, you're like flung really high into the air. You see like dolphins jumping, and then that bit with the whale that's like chasing you and like ripping up like the boards as you're like running along them. It was just beautiful. And the beautiful blue water that's surrounding you of that whole level is just so good. I think that's probably one of my favourite Sonic levels ever. And though it's not that long and stuff, you can complete it really quickly if you go back through and play it. But yeah, that was just blew my mind when I first played that. I was just like, wow. Yeah, great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, probably my favourite Sonic game that's not part of the original sort of Mega Drives, that's Genesis, selection. This might sound controversial, but I think it could be Sonic Colors. I think that it's probably the best modern Sonic game I've actually ever played. I generally hated most of the Wii games. I really hated Sonic and the Black Knight, which we might actually get onto in a bit. I did not enjoy Sonic Unleashed that much. I thought the Sonic levels were brilliant. The Werehog levels, though, sucked. If they just got rid of the Werehog in that game, it would have been amazing. Yeah, there's no point in saying that Werehog. It just ruined the whole game for me.
Brought the game plotting to a stop.
Yeah, and I've said this before on the show, I actually quite enjoyed Sonic 06. The things I didn't like about it were the sort of non-Sonic levels, because Tails sucks in that game so much. You're basically playing as all the other characters. It was just not that much fun. Although actually, Silver, I didn't mind playing as Silver that much. But yeah, but Sonic Colors, you just played as Sonic. Yeah, you had the sort of power-ups and stuff. They were quite nice. It kind of worked really well with the game, and it was one of the first Sonic games in recent times that actually had a lot of exploration in it. You could go back to levels with new power-ups, find new hidden places. The graphics were beautiful. The 2D platforming was fantastic. For me, it had the right amount of mix of fast bits and also slow bits, because a lot of people think Sonic's just about speed, but if you go back and play the original ones, there's so many bits where you've got to do very slow, tricky platforming sections. You've got to take your time, slow it down. And the sort of 3D version, the 3D bits were also really good. And there's actually another really good bit where you're getting chased by a giant fish in that game, which I thought was awesome. And I never actually got to finish it though. I think I got to like the last level, and yeah, but I might have to go back and play that from the start because
I've been meaning to pick up
Sonic
the
Colors
copy
so
because
much.
that's one of the ones that I've always missed.
Oh man, I think yeah, they had it on the DS as well, and the DS version wasn't anywhere near as good. So play the Wii version if you can, because yeah, I think it's one of the most underrated Sonic games out there. And it's probably my favourite. That's not part of the original games. But yeah, so
Pick
cool.
me up a copy.
Oh yeah, you probably do it really cheap now. So yeah. So moving on quickly, because I think we're sort of. How long are we going for? We're going for quite a while. Let's try and speed things up, I think. Yeah. Next one, very quickly. The worst Sonic game that's not part of the original Mega Drive titles, I reckon. Yeah. Copcase waving something at the screen. I can't see it. Copcake, what's that?
Can you see it? It's the Sonic Generations European Edition.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
I love that one. That's it. And the worst game. Okay, I'll start with the worst game I ever bought is Sonic Shuffle. I hate this game. Actually,
it wasn't that bad.
Because
Come
it's
on.
a reminder. Yeah, that's really bad. I remember that there was a guy who always said, "Nah, come on, video games always have something better and something good to show to you." I was like, "Oh yeah, sure," and I was like, "Let's play this." And after we played it, like about for 10 minutes, he was, "Okay, you got a bad game." I won't say anything. I won't defend that game. And I was like, "Okay," I made my point very clear. So I got it as a reminder to actually check the games or what the games are about before even buying it. Because I remember I bought it just because of the animated intro movie. So I was like, "Oh, this one looks pretty cool, like a Sonic in cell shading." But man, was I wrong. This game is bad. So, yeah, Sonic Shuffle is my worst Sonic game I ever bought or even played. As for the rest of them, I really love the Sonic games. I pretty love Sonic, yeah. But this one, this is the bad Sonic game I'm not proud of having. That's it.
Cool. JP, I'll let you go next, buddy.
Okay, I've actually got a couple, but I'm gonna just make them quick. Sonic Eraser. If you haven't heard of it, it was Japanese. I think it was on their equivalent of the Sega channel. It was just a puzzler. It was kind of like Columns mixed with Puyo Puyo, and not nearly as fun as either. That, since most people haven't played that, I'm gonna say Sonic Heroes, just because I give it a shot like every couple years, and every time I'm just like, man, this just is not fun. Like you play through the first couple of Sonic Team levels, you're like, oh, this is cool, and then you get to like I think it's the Haunted Castle level where there's a bunch of puzzles, and I'm like, man, I'm just done.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah,
I quite enjoyed the game. I never completed it, but I did enjoy that. I did enjoy what I played of it, but I do remember getting really hard at one point and giving up. So yeah, you could be right about that. Yeah. In fact, I thought that game would have been better if they didn't have, the three people running it. Basically, if they just had Sonic or just one character running along at a time, that would be some of the best 3D Sonic levels around because they were so much fun. I thought, but
yeah, they were fairly well designed, and I feel like that's the problem that they had after the Dreamcast era, was that they've tried to focus on too many characters, and it's like, no, just make a game where Sonic runs fast and has good platforming, and then it'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
just,
remember.
I think that's why, as I said before, Sonic Colors was one that I love because that sort of seemed to be pretty much what they did with it. But
Right,
yeah.
right.
Man,
I
cool.
hate the Seaside Hill song, and when it actually made it to Sonic Generation, I was like, "Oh, not this level."
I had the same reaction.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of that level. God. For me, I actually just mentioned this game a minute ago. It's Sonic and the Black Knight. Jesus Christ, I cannot get over how much I hate this game. Because because Sonic and the Secret Ring was
pretty-
like, it was fine, like, because Sonic's running along and you sort of have to tilt the Wiimote and stuff, and it was okay.
It
wasn't
kind of
great.
worked.
But Sonic and the Black Knight was just I think I pretty much gave up on the first boss. I kept playing after it, but I made up my mind by the first boss when you run up and it's like I think it was a dragon or something, and Sonic was still running forward, but he wasn't going anywhere because you were right up against this dragon's face. And you had to like hit your sword at it and stuff. And I was just like, this is shit. It's like it's not even well made, and the levels weren't that much fun. Although I almost wish if it was just like a cartoon or something, I could have probably watched it and enjoyed it because the storyline, even though it wasn't like normal Sonic, was kind of entertaining. But I just, wasn't a fan of that game at all.
On the right side, it's soundtrack.
Yeah, soundtrack was actually pretty good, I thought. Yeah, because it had Crush 40 doing the main song. I might have done a few songs on it, and that was the best bit about the game, I think, because I actually reviewed the game. I think that's the one thing I said I liked about it. And the graphics were okay as well, like the Wii, because it was on the Wii, but they still look fine. But yeah, I also wanted to very quickly throw in Sonic Rush 2 on the DS. I got that game when I went to just before I went to Japan, and I thought, I'm just going to play this game in Japan. So that was the only game I took with me to Japan, and I freaking regret that because that was the only game I had to play out there. And I was just like, I hate this game. I just did not enjoy it. The first Sonic Rush, loved, and this one is really childish. It was just really. There's nothing. I couldn't find any redeeming features about the game. I just did not enjoy that. But
Right.
yeah, man, cool. Okay, I think the last bit of our feature discussion. It's gonna tone it down a bit. We're going to look at basically. We're going to talk about how Sonic has dramatically changed over 23 years. Because he obviously has. We talk about the character himself. But do we think that they've been good or bad? Is there anything we like about them? And also, do we think Sega was actually right to change him so much, whereas, say, other characters like Mario have barely changed at all over the years? So let's start with you, Kopke. I mean, what are your opinions on Sonic as he's changed over the years? Are you happy with it, or?
Yeah, I'm actually happy with the main changes they've done. For example, the first one that was between the Japanese and the American one, I think that changing the way it looks now for the American audiences like they did in the 90s was the right decision, was the right call. It actually makes Sonic successful and sold more, and we actually have this iconic image of Sonic because of that change. It was a really nice decision Sega of America took in the 90s, and it is what made Sonic such a strong icon on our minds and on our games. And the other change they did was the Yuji Wakawa one, the one for the Dreamcast era. And I think that was actually a really cool way of redesigning Sonic for the Dreamcast. I actually like Yuji's style a lot, so I actually has influenced me on the way I do the end strokes of my lines. So when I'm illustrating, I always think about that final stroke on his lines to actually end mine. So yeah, I really love the way he changed Sonic. The way he has like this more red attitude. He made him taller. I never made a big deal about the green eyes. It was just normal change for me. I don't think I think the Yuji made the changes for good. It actually looks more radical in a way, and more like a light Sonic, and faster, and more like aggressive. I don't know. He looks cool the way he looks. As for the Sonic Boom one, I don't like that much the character design for that game. I know it has a reason for those changes, but I don't think that Sonic needs the bandages or the scarf. I don't like that much, but only time will tell. Like the game actually looks pretty cool in the way of gameplay, and the system is trying to showcase, and I think it's a really nice proposal from Sega America to renewal the Sonic franchises for younger audiences. So I think of talking about the game, I think the game is going to be really successful, and the gameplay is cool. But I don't like the character design for that game. I don't know. It's something that buggers me off on the way they look.
Although we have to note that Sonic Boom is actually sort of like not part of the main franchise, as it were. Like it's almost like the Sonic and the Black Knight, and
Oh, really?
It's sort of like not meant to be part of the main sort of canon, as it were. It's like a sort of side one, which I guess.
I thought they had been going for like a soft reboot, but this is more like the Sonic X, where it's its own continuity.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. So I reckon, even though he's changed for Sonic Boom, there's going to be other Sonic games that are going to come out, which is going to be like, like the normal Sonic as we know him, love him, I guess. So don't worry, Cobb K. Don't focus too much on that, man.
I was just making a point. That,
yeah, no, it's fair enough. It's fair enough.
I don't like pretty much that look for Sonic, but I think it's doing well, and it's a separate franchise. I know that.
Yeah.
But we'll see more of that Sonic if it is successful. So
true.
Only time will tell if it was the right choice.
Cool. And JP, what about you? Thoughts, opinions?
Well, to me, the Sonic Adventure redesign back in 2099, whatever, was definitely a move in the right direction, because I've felt like that Sonic should be somewhat tall and lanky, kind of like you would imagine a runner, long limbs, and so I kind of thought that made sense. The Sonic Boom redesign, I'm kind of on the fence, because like as an adventure series, as the cartoon, like the preview and everything that they're talking about for how they're approaching Sonic Boom, it kind of seems like it would make sense for an adventurer to have the wraps and the scarf and everything, and it hasn't clicked with me yet. I'm sure it will, but I kind of get a Crash Bandicoot vibe from the whole thing for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has from the original Crash Bandicoot development team.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, like I said, I'm on the fence about the Sonic Boom. I definitely am a fan of the original redesign, but I grew up with the original short, chubby Sonic, but also it's kind of hard to take him seriously as a quote-unquote dude with tude, whenever he looks like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love chubby Sonic.
Yeah.
The classic Sonic. Yeah, he has this appeal to everyone. Like he's looked like cute and also cool at the same time. It's hard to describe. At
Some point, it's nice to have Sonic not have dialogue. Where it's just like, especially the unskippable adventure cutscenes, where I love the story in Adventure, but it's like the second time I played through it, the first time I borrowed my cousin's Dreamcast and played through it. The second time I bought mine and I found a cheap Japanese copy of Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Adventure 1, and I played through that, and I couldn't understand any of the dialogue, and I couldn't skip it. So.
Oh yeah. That's annoying.
Yeah, but it's just, at the very least, make us be able to skip it.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss the old Sonic, to be honest. I'm used to the modern Sonic, and he's fine for me. But like, it really rang home when I played Sonic Generations for the first time. You see the old Sonic, and like, I was just like, oh man, I love this little guy. He's like so cute and awesome. And then also the fact that in the cutscenes he doesn't talk, I thought that made it brilliant, because I almost feel like it'd be really funny to have a modern Sonic game where like Robotnik sort of like saying all his, he's sort of doing his usual spiel, okay, I'm going to get you, Sonic, I'm going to rule the world, or whatever, and then Sonic's just standing there not being able to say anything and sort of shrugs his shoulders or something and runs off. I just think that'd be really funny, because that's sort of almost what happened with Sonic, was like Sonic or Tails was talking to the old Sonic in like the cutscenes in Sonic Generations, and it's just like, this is great, I love it. But yeah, and for Sonic Boom, I quite like the character design. I can understand why people don't like it, like you guys have sort of said, like why you guys don't like it. But I quite enjoy it. I think I'm glad it's not really a permanent change. As we said, it's sort of like almost like a side games that they're making. But yeah, I think it sort of suits the overall sort of the world and the sort of adventure style that they're going for. I think it looks quite good.
I do want to say, like, as an aside, I really like all the other character redesigns that they've done for Boom. Knuckles, he's a bruiser, so it naturally makes sense for him to be, broad-shouldered and everything. Tails looks like a Gadgeteer type guy, and it makes sense for me. It clicks with that world.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I think that's the thing. In all the other Sonic games, correct me if I'm wrong, in pretty much all the other Sonic games, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, they've all been like the same size and stuff. Whereas this, they do seem to be very different in height and sort of, as you mentioned, like Knuckles is really big and muscly and stuff. So I think it works really well in that aspect, because that's a big change, really.
Right, because it was kind of weird to me whenever, you'd see Knuckles like smash a boulder, and then it's like he looks build wise, he's exactly the same as Sonic, and it's like, okay, well, why is he super strong and him super fast?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see how the actual game plays later on.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. And just to throw this out there, because I sort of mentioned it as I was introducing this little bit. I mean, do you think you guys have sort of said you've liked the changes and stuff that have been made, but do you think it's strange that like Sega has made such dramatic changes over the years to Sonic, whereas say Nintendo, like the most comparable game character out there would be Mario? Like Nintendo hasn't really changed Mario that much. Yeah, visually he's changed a little bit because as it all goes on, like as technology advances, they've made him clearer and crisper.
He's got stitches on his overalls now.
So what was that bit? Sorry.
Actually,
now he's got stitches on his overalls.
Yeah, and actually Mario has been having a liposuction because he was fatter on the Nintendo.
I guess he was a little bit. But he's still a little bit podgy, though. He's still not totally sleek, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like them not redesigning him at all kind of reflects how they've treated him, like, especially notwithstanding, spin-off games, which I say spin-off, but like, games like Mario Sunshine that were, fantastic and very different, but it's like you go into nowadays and you have the new Super Mario Brothers series and everything, and it's pretty much classic Mario with like one or two new power-ups, and it's like, it's kind of that's what they do with Mario. It's like every generation he gets a little better texturing and a little better, flappy mustache in the wind, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Although, do you not think that maybe Sega, like, because essentially Mario games still sell like millions.
This is true.
Like, do you not think that maybe if Sega did a very similar thing to what Nintendo have done and sort of kept Sonic the way he was, kept the games the same way they were, sort of like maybe sticking more to 2D, I guess, because that seems to be what Nintendo's gone. Most of the Sonic Mario games are still 2D. They might have a bit of 3D in them, but I know there are 3D games out there as well, but they seem to have kept a lot of the 2D game aspects. Do you reckon if Sega did something like that, they tried to keep it more like the original ones, do you reckon Sonic might be as big as Mario is right now? I mean, Sonic's still big, but Mario's still a massive seller. Like, really outside Sonic.
I don't think that would be the right call, because Mario represents like the classic age of gaming. Like when Sonic arrived, he was like breaking all these rules and becoming something new. That's what made him an icon. So I think Sonic has to stand on his own way of doing things instead of trying to be like Mario. Because Sonic is what made Sonic big, like not being Mario, being his own thing and being the cool thing. And about the redesign, I think it was a right call, because Sonic is more like a vanguard character that's always the cool thing. So all those changes were done for him to make him look cooler. So I think it was the right call, and I think it's the right direction for Sonic, not being Mario, because Sonic is his own thing.
No, that was well, okay, brilliant. That was a brilliant answer, actually. I didn't know what to say to that. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Although, while that is true, there has been like the repercussions that so many fans have been disappointed with a lot of the Sonic games out there. I mean, it's what I know. It would be bad if Sega just kept Sonic the way he was and didn't change him at all, but they've taken so many risks and stuff that in some ways, for like a lot of gamers, Sonic's become a bit of a joke. And do you think?
Well, that's a double-edged sword, because if any character out there must do those kind of risks, it is Sonic, and it is Sega, and it actually tells us what Sega is about and what Sonic is about. But it's also a gamble, like to also losing everything or risking everything to actually become successful, or like having a hard time while doing it. But I think it's okay. It's part of Sonic history, and it's actually pretty amazing that after all these years, like 23 years, the character is still out there and is still cool and is still relevant to have this rich history that has made him that big. And we have a lot of characters like Bonk or Airsonk or like Boxy or who knows whoever that nobody ever remembers them about. Like in the last E3, we saw this guy Conquer that a few of us remember about him just because we played a game of his. And he's actually out there in a box at a Microsoft office that who knows when he will see the light again. And Sonic is still out there. And it's actually as big as Mario after all these years. It is pretty amazing that aside from those failed games, if you want to call it like that, he's still like there. And he's relevant and he's still selling. And he's still Sega's scapegoat to actually make money. And it is pretty amazing what Naoto Shima and Yuji Naka actually delivered to the world and to many video gamers out there. And I'm actually amazed with that. I respect a lot what they did with it.
Yeah, definitely. Well.
You summed it up very well.
Yeah, very well. Well done, Kotkey. Have you got any other thoughts to that, JP, at all, or?
Nothing. He pretty much summed up what I was gonna say. Just kind of Sonic has always been about. To me, Sonic represents pushing the envelope, and yeah, sometimes they pushed it in the wrong direction. I.e., for a lot of people, not necessarily you, 06 or Sonic Shuffle, but they went out there, they took a chance, and I feel like it wouldn't be Sonic if it wasn't risky.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, well, amen to that. That's yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. Sorry, I actually didn't expect that answer. Yeah, brilliant. I think I do completely agree with you. I can't really argue against it. It's a shame that Sega has made some mistakes, and it almost feels now though that there've been just a few slight mistakes that the fans and gaming public sort of picked up on, and every time Sega releases a new Sonic game, they just expect it to be terrible or something, and so it seems to be criticised quite heavily. Because if I go out there, I know I'm a Sega fan, I know I'm a Sonic fan, but I've always enjoyed the Mario franchise. However, I still think there's more. Well, I still think the Sonic games are better than the Mario games, because I haven't actually really enjoyed the modern Mario games that much. I think as you've sort of pointed out, Cupcake, Sega's they're taking risks and stuff, and I think that's what keeps the Sonic games entertaining for me. They're also because they're all so different. Whereas the Mario games I played, while they sort of changed a little bit, they are so similar that it's almost like I could just go back and play Mario Bros 3, because that's like Mario World, because they're my two favourite Mario games, and have way more fun than what I'm having right now in this new Mario game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And also to say that the press has been a little bit unfair with Sonic, because they always pick on the bad stuff and they never pick on the good stuff, the games.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it just seems as soon as Mario... I'm not bashing Mario because I still like Mario and stuff, but it just seems as soon as a Mario game comes out, it's like, oh my god, it's amazing. And Sonic comes out, it's like, Yeah. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Whereas Mario's got just as many issues with
Yeah,
it.
it actually seems like all those articles out there are written by Nintendo fanboy perspective. So I don't kind of like that.
Yeah. I guess it's just the way of the world, though.
Yeah.
Cool. But
It's kind of one of those things where it's like once you've lost some credibility, it seems like it's harder for Sonic to get any back because it's that's kind of how I feel. The way they treat Sonic is how I feel about Marvel Comics because I'm a DC fanboy, and it's like, oh, Marvel Comics is like, oh, that's that comic company that I loved in 1994.
right.
It's and then after that, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Good. So yeah, I guess that wraps up our feature discussion. I think very quickly, should we go with what we've been playing?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Copcake, go for it.
Okay. I've been playing Toe Jam and Earl 3 since Toe Jam and Earl is the game of the month. Chris actually sent me this game because I wasn't able to buy this in my country. This was never released here. It was only released in the United States. And the only way I was able to get it is because of Chris sent me this one. For those of you who don't know, I'm a really huge fan of Toe Jam and Earl. I actually had the Genesis one over there, but I'm going to go for it because it loses time. But I've been enjoying. I haven't been able. I wasn't before Chris sent me this one. I wasn't never able to play this game, but finally was able to do that. I'm really enjoying this game. I don't know why it was bashed so hardly. Well, I know a couple of reasons. The first thing is that the camera is really bad on this game. It turns like in the wrong direction of where you're going. And another thing is that some items are not that well responsive, but that's part of the game. If anyone played the original Toe Jam and Earl, all the items were like a double-edged sword. Like sometimes they help you, and sometimes they don't. They actually make things worse for you, and that's part of the deal with items on Toe Jam and Earl. And I actually love that they did the same thing on this game, like rescuing what the first game was all about. You got these puzzles, you got the map, you got the exploring part, you got the way of traveling and gathering items, all of the game. So I'm really loving this game. It actually brings back memories when I was with my brother playing the original one. And the other part I like is that all these crazy humans are still there. Like, I remember getting into the third level and watching the Boogeyman, and it was like, oh man, the Boogeyman! I remember I hate that guy on the first game, and he was there. And the cheerleaders, the hula girl, the rabbits are new. I didn't like that one, but the rest of the game I have been enjoying it so far. The only part that I don't like is that excessive hip hop language, or like Toe Jam looking at the butt of Letitia. So it was like unnecessary thing for a Toe Jam and Earl game. But aside from that, I'm really enjoying the game. Actually, it's a huge surprise for me that this game went so overrated, and I actually like it. As a Toe Jam and Earl fan, I think this is a good game, and I'm enjoying it. So thank you, Chris. I really appreciate the gift.
Doesn't it run on the 360, or can you
No, it just runs on the Xbox because I placed it on my brother's 360 and didn't run that well.
Damn it.
And it was all choppy, but on the original Xbox it runs very well.
Yeah.
I actually placed it on my projector and it looked really fine. The other thing I've been playing is Restart, like I said before, and I'm actually enjoying the gameplay more than the Genesis one. I don't know why. The Genesis one looks prettier, but this one plays really well, and on the Game Gear, it actually is more responsive than the Genesis one. So I'm liking Restart for Game Gear. The other one I have in this flashback moments with Sonic 2. And another good thing about the Game Gear is that no matter the region of the game, you are able to run it on any Game Gear hardware. So if you have Japanese games, European games, or American games, you can run your Game Gear on any regular Game Gear. So this one is a Japanese copy, and I'm able to run it on an American Game Gear.
Wow.
Also, I have a Japanese copy of Castle of Illusion,
Yeah.
And I've been playing that. It's the same port as the Master System one, so it's really nice to have it on a portable system. And actually, people at the meetings I've been having on this week are looking weird to me because I'm having this like huge handlet instead of a 3DS or an iPhone or something like that. Like, why are you having the huge thing with a lot of batteries? And I was like, dude, this is a Sega Game Gear. This thing had like TV before you have a portable television and games on it, and it was in color before Game Boy. So shut your mouth, dude. And that's it. That's what I've been playing.
Awesome. Okay, JP.
Mostly I've been playing Sonic Generations on 3DS. I picked that up for cheap the other day. A couple of different Pokemon games, trying to breed shinies, and that's a nightmare. And Mario Kart 8, because my girlfriend can't get enough of it, so I play it too.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've heard good things about Mario Kart 8. I'd love to play it.
Oh, it's a blast.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, that was quick. Bloody hell. Nice. I've been playing. What have I been playing? Oh yeah, I've Phil mentioned this the last few weeks. I've been playing through the Uncharted games after I got my PS3, and I finished Uncharted 2 and now started Uncharted 3. I'm really enjoying it so far. I think this is my favourite one. I have heard that most people say Uncharted 2 is the best one, but so far from what I've played, I'm preferring Uncharted 3. I still love Uncharted 2, but this one I'm really loving. And one thing that's really I find quite interesting when you're playing through, because I played each of the games back to back, you really see like how the technology's changed over the years because they're playing on the same machine, like same technology and stuff. But Uncharted 3 compared to Uncharted 1, it's like two different consoles you're playing it on. It's ridiculous. Like just the animation, the graphics, everything about it. I still find the shooting a little bit off. Like the aiming still seems not that accurate, but yeah, it's still really fun though, and I'm loving the storylines. So yeah, don't know how far into the game I am, but definitely loving it. What else have I been playing? Oh yeah, I picked up like Command and Conquer Ultimate Pack, which was basically had 17 Command and Conquer games in it or something. Because I just really I love the old Command and Conquer games. I'm not a big fan of the new ones, I have to admit, like the ones that sort of went 3D, like where you could change the camera angle every way. I prefer the older ones, but I couldn't find them anywhere. And then I just found this big bundle thing. I was like, go for it. So I've been playing Red Alert 2 a lot because I just love that game. I never got to finish it back in the day, so playing through it again, and I forgot everything about it, and I suck at it, but it's really fun. And I also picked up Ocarina of Time 3D for the 3DS.
Very nice.
And yeah, I don't know what it's like in America, but in England, that game is like gold dust. It's so hard to get hold of.
Really?
Yeah, like no shop has it in really. I managed to get it pre-owned in. There's one game store over here called Game, which is the biggest one in the UK. It's like a big franchise, and it was like £30, which is about the same price as a normal like brand new game, and I got it pre-owned for that much. But and that sounds like a lot. I went onto Amazon to look at the prices on there. The cheapest one I found on there was £44, and some of the people were saying it for £60, like pre-owned still, and I was like, bloody hell. And just no other game shops I went into, like independent stores or anything, had it really, and yeah, so I snapped that one up because Ocarina of Time is still that and Majora's Mask are my two favourite Zelda games. I love those games, and I've been having a massive blast just playing through. And one thing I have to say, I think Sega needs to pay attention to Nintendo here. Okay, like Sega's re-released a lot of games, maybe done up the graphics a little bit. Ocarina of Time 3D, they've taken like to next level. They've really done the graphics in a beautiful way. They haven't just sharpened the graphics up. They've changed
feels
the
like a
animations.
whole game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's some areas where you can see parts of dated graphics and stuff still, but there's whole new textures overlaid. The actual animation on like Link and stuff is completely different, and just smoother and beautiful. And I just love it. I'm really impressed with this. And the games are still really fun. Although I'm annoyed that I've got a normal 3DS, not a 3DS XL, because my hand is killing me now from playing it hours on end. It's too cramped to play on that. So, but so good, loving it.
I was really glad. I picked one of these up not too long ago, and I've been loving it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, I still haven't played. I've got the other Zelda game on 3DS, but I haven't played it yet.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, everyone tells me it's brilliant. I just I don't know. I just haven't picked it. Well, I haven't bothered to actually play it yet. I should really get around to that at some point. Maybe after finish Ocarina of Time. Cool.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. I think that almost wraps up the show. We're going. Has anyone got any parting shots before we leave? Basically.
Okay.
Well.
You go.
Okay, JP, you go, man. You go.
Okay. If anyone has any suggestions or anything that they want me to cover in the next puzzle columns, I'm looking for suggestions. Preferably something that's not super hard to come by or requires, like, I got a couple suggestions on Twitter that were Japanese Saturn games, and I don't have an action replay, so I can't play those right now. So anything that I could get domestically in the U.S. or in a non-region lock console, like a Game Gear, would be ideal.
Okay, Puyo for Game Gear.
Yes. Yeah, that would be.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Cool.
And there's actually a Game Gear exclusive that it's not really expensive. It's called Puyo Gaiden, which is it's a Game Gear exclusive. It was only released for the Game Gear. It has a different system than the regular Puyo. I've never been able to get it because most of the time I see it on sale. I go like, ooh, there's a brilliant stuff over there. I'm gonna go check it. So I forget to buy it. But I think it actually was pretty cheap. It's like about $10 game at much.
Okay.
Cool.
I'll look into that one.
Awesome.
And you can run it on your regular Game Gear, so it doesn't have a problem with it.
Nice.
It's pretty simple to play. My parting shot is, guys, go to the Steam Summer Sale and buy a lot of stuff because it's really cheap. It's for your PC, and so far I tried to resist, but Steam defeated me once again. I ended buying DuckTales because it was really cheap, like $4, and I couldn't resist, so I bought it. I'm actually looking forward to buying Ikaruga and buying, which is this other one game, Schoolgirls. I want to buy those two games. So get onto the sales and get your games really, really cheap.
Cool. Awesome.
Very nice.
Nice. I don't really have any proper parting shots. However, there's been a couple of people who've added to our Sonic question earlier today, so I'm just going to read those bad boys out for you guys. Techno Girl, also known as @Nad Carillo. Sorry, I can never pronounce anyone's names. Well, it's not quite an answer to the thing, but I say happy birthday, Sonic! ! I'm now playing Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, one of my favourite games of Sonic. Yay, awesome! I agree, that's a brilliant game. Linkin Fiasco, he says, I remember MTV had a special where they played a Sonic and Knuckles tournament at The Rock. So yeah, that's one of his Sega memories. A Winner Was You. One of his memories was the evening I got my Mega Drive and was able to play Sonic 3 properly. Yeah. That game back in the day, that just blew minds, man. And @Power Rings, also known as Hedgy Wedgie, great name. When I was a kid, I recall playing Sonic and Knuckles with my brother and had no idea where I was going. Yeah, I actually can understand that. I know you normally just got to go left to right on the screen, but I remember Sonic and Knuckles did have some bits where I still got stuck and stuff as well back in the day.
And some of us use our brothers to actually use Tails and do the hard work and the dirty work, or send them to die or stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Cool. So I think that pretty much does it for the show. Just to let you guys know, next week we're really excited because we've actually got Greg Johnson on the show, who's doing a Toe Jam and L retrospective. Woohoo! Which is awesome. So really excited for that. And as always, the Nerdcast is available on iTunes and Stitcher if you want to download it from there. We also have the link to the video show and the audio show on our website we put it up there Well, normally I'll get Chris to do it because I can never do it. So when Chris can be able to do it. And if you want to follow us on Twitter at Sega Nerds, and on Facebook it's facebook.com/the Sega Nerds. And if you register on the site, you can post in the forums and comment on any of our stories that we have, awesome features we do. JP, have you got a Twitter account that you want to hand out? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh, I do. At PJ Randall. I actually meant to at PJ Randall. I actually meant to mention that whenever I was asking for suggestions for puzzle columns and neglected to do so.
Fair enough. There you go. Yeah. So if you want to send any like puzzle recommendations to him, do that on there and follow him. And Kopke, I can't remember what your one is. Kopke, if you want to hand it out?
Yeah, Cupcake.
There we go. Kopke. That's Kopke for anyone who doesn't know how to spell that. And I'm at Graham Cookson. I was quite lucky with my name, I guess. So yeah, follow us, follow the show, and we hope you enjoyed it. It was I know it was a bit of an epic Sonic chat thing going on there, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And hopefully next week Chris will be back, and the quality will go right up because yeah, I don't know how he does this. So yeah. Well, brilliant. See you all later.
See you guys.
Have a good one.